Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin' Mommy, and I'm here for my weekly update. It's September 5th. It's actually a Tuesday because yesterday was Labor Day, so my whole family was home. No filming can happen on a day like that. However, I think I will be doing my videos on Tuesdays for here forward. Because my husband will be working from home start on Mondays as well as Wednesdays, which he already does. I don't want to film and edit when he's home. So I will be doing Tuesday videos just like Bendy Stitchy. It's Tuesday, time to film Flosstube. So I'll be doing Tuesday videos going forward. My daughter will be home, but I've been doing videos while she's home this whole time, so shouldn't be a problem. And let's see, last week, the afternoon right after I filmed my video, I got my happy mail that I've been waiting for. It always seems to like to come in the afternoon right after I've uploaded my video. But last week I showed you stuff I got at my LNS. The happy mail was extra stuff. So for my Chatelaine I got my first Dinky dies, which is, there we go. It's called Daintree. Super pretty. It's lighter than I expected. Online it's looking more blue in the camera too. It looks a little bit more green in real life, but it's still blue. Blues and greens. It's really pretty and super soft. Oh my goodness. It's softer than the Gloriana one was. What else did I get for this? Oh, also for my Chatelaine, I got my bead kit from European Cross Stitch. So it's got all the Delica beads in the different colors and some bicombs over here. 3 colors of bicombs. So that's cute. All those cute little ones. So I'm excited to work on my Chatelaine tomorrow. So there's all my threads, specialty threads. And I will probably, I'll wait and see what it's like to get these silks off of the thread, off of their cards. I think I'll probably end up bobbinating those just to make it easier on myself. And they may end up just in here in a bag, because that's how I roll. I also got the 2 other Weeks Die Works that I needed for my frosted pumpkin piece that I'll be doing next year. I believe the 2 I got were these 2, Cattail and Parchment. Cattail is the darker one. And then they go with these 3 I bought at the LNS. So there's the 3, and it's the 3 neutrals are all still different from each other. And then there's the pink and the green. So that's going to be fun for my Storytime Sampler Frosted Pumpkin that I'll do next year. So I'm all set with that one. And these will get bobbinated as well. Just, I haven't done it yet. And then this will segue into my giveaway results, which I've already done on random.org, and I'll put a clip in a minute. But I also ordered some bonus gentle art threads to go with my giveaway. So I wanted to be kind of fun with the color names. So the first giveaway prize I had was Joan Elliott's Oriental Odyssey. And because there's cherry blossom trees a lot in Japan, there's reds involved in Chinese and Japanese artwork, I got Cherry Wine, and it looks a little bit darker in real life than it's showing up. It's not that bright. It's like a light burgundy, I guess. So that's going to go to whoever wins the Joan Elliott book, which I know, but I will wait until after I show the clip. And this one was my other giveaway, the kit with the birds and the fruit. So I picked up Tutti Frutti to go along with that one. And if you were so inclined, you could maybe sub out the blue and the birds for this color, because it's very close. But you don't have to. You can use that for whatever you want. So, here's the clip of the giveaway winners. Alright, I'm going to do a drawing for my 1,000 subscribers giveaway. So I have my list of people over here, and I have made the titles part of the one, so this number 1 will line up with the first person. And so let's see, I have $26 for the Joan Elliott piece. So I will go over here and type in 26 and generate the winner for the Joan Elliott, and it's number 8. Let's go back over here. Number 8 is Leah Noel. Congratulations! You get my Joan Elliott Oriental book. And then the next one is Fruit, the kit that had the fruit, and that had 31 entries. So let's see, let's go over here and highlight Leah. So remember that was her. And this has 31 entries, and I will generate the winner, 27. So going over here, that would be Yarn Friendly. Congratulations! Those are the winners of my Yarn Friendly. You get my kit that has fruit and birds, and Leah Noel, you get the Joan Elliott book. Congratulations! And congratulations! I'm so excited. The winner of the Joan Elliott book, I believe, she said that she was new to Flosstube and has been enjoying watching, considering making her own videos. If you decide to make some videos, let me know your channel name. I'd love to come watch you. And she had actually just put this book on her wish list, like right before that video that went up. So hopefully you haven't got it yet, because now I'm going to send it to you. So both of these, I will be private messaging you for your address, and I will get those in the mail to you soon, post haste. So that was fun. Next time I do a giveaway, I think I'll leave it open for maybe 2 weeks instead of most of a month, because it seems like the people, even the stragglers comments, it really doesn't go much past 2 weeks. So next time I do something like that, I'll probably just do 2 weeks instead of a whole month. Let's see, what did I do this week? I worked on my castle with those flosses anchor floss I got from my L&S, and finished the stitching on the castle. So here's what it looked like last time, and here it is now. Got all the columns, all the pillars filled in. There's a couple dots that are going to be white, and I'm not really sure what those are for. Trees, pollen, not sure. But all of the castle stitching is completed. When I have put this away, now that it's September, and I'm going to work on my secret stitch in the car until it's finished, and then I'll bring this back out and finish this. And after that I might work on tea and cakes. Or maybe I'll do tea and cakes and then this. I don't know. Tea and cakes might end up being a travel piece too. But when I come back to this next time, I'll do as much as I can around the base here so that I can backstitch the castle and have this top half like completely done, and then move into the madness that will be down here. I'm a little nervous about this part because it's a hand-drawn chart, and this part is very just chaotic. Like this was straight, you know, chunks of color, and here is more speckled and complicated, and there's like backstitching flowers and reeds and whatnot all over. It's just very chaotic looking, and I know once I get into it and start highlighting, I'll probably have to highlight pretty frequently to keep track of what I'm doing. But I'm hoping that's going to go okay and not be too complicated or annoying to work on. But it should go pretty quick. It looks like I'm a little over halfway with the stitching, so hopefully it'll finish up soon once I'm done with my other stitch that I'm working on now that I can't share with you. I'm sorry. I also did one more flower on my temperature garden, as well as finished out the little leaves in August. And last year there were not very many hot days in the year at all. There was one day that was really hot. And so far on my temperature garden, that was also the case. There was just one day that was really hot. That is not the case any longer. We have had a major heat wave. The weather report says excessive heat warning. And that last flower, three of the petals are the darkest color there is, and these two petals are the second darkest. So the only other place this dark one appeared was over here. So that's where it is now. And I finished up the green and then finished up my thread down here to start September. But I won't be able to stitch that one until tomorrow. No. Today's the 5th. Did I say the 4th before? I think it's the 5th today, so I can do this flower tomorrow. However, I might end up waiting on this and do like 2 flowers at once, because tomorrow I'm starting my Chatelaine. So I don't think I'm going to take time for this tomorrow. I may, if I can swing it, I may try to be able to start it today, because I'm close, sort of close to a finish on my little October Joyful World piece. And it would be really nice to start my Chatelaine today, even if it's just a little bit. Because like I said, my husband works from home on Wednesdays as well, so I don't tend to have as much stitching time when he's home, because I feel like I should be busy doing stuff, not just stitching. So if I get it started when I'm home and alone and just kind of can focus on it for a few minutes, and then whenever I do get a few minutes tomorrow, I'll already be started, because sometimes the hurdle is just starting it. So that's Temperature Garden. And let's see, here's October. No, I guess this is my main piece, not a weekend piece, so I'll do that one next time. My main piece I worked on last week was Royal Holiday, and I was working over here because I decided working all along the rows was just too spread out and didn't show enough progress for me to be content. So I thought I'd work in sections starting in the corner over there. So this is what it looked like last time. And here is where she is now. Okay, let's get you... Can I get the whole thing in there without the sun spot? I have to time my videos just right so that I can... the sunspot isn't too distracting. Let's see if I can see through here. No, the farther back I go, the more she gets in the sun. But here's, this section is where I worked this week, right over here. So I did the rest of this chunk and this whisper, all these greeneries got filled in all the way. I did a little bit more on these brown tendrils, and just a handful in here where the strings were running out. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see, where's a good spot? Because I want to have a picture for next time. She looks... She's all dark when the sun is on her like that. I have a half circle window like up there, and the sun just kind of comes in. Anyways, so there she is. That's not too bad. I might use that next time. Next month I'm planning to work on her for, assuming I like the rotation style I'm using in September, which has just started, so I don't know if I like it yet. Assuming I like that style, I will put her in for 3 rotations, not just 1. I'll give her another 5-day chunk because October has 31 days. I will have an extra, one of the 3-day chunks can be a 4-day chunk. I'll give her the 4-day chunk. And I think I'll give her another 3-day chunk as well to give her lots of love. Because when I put her down this time, I didn't want to put her down. I wanted to keep going. I was starting to see things filled in and things finished, and I was having a lot of fun. Finally got into my groove with whisper thread. And I made a little video on Friday about stitching with whisper thread and some tips that work for me. So if you're curious about how to make whisper thread a little more manageable, go watch that video if you'd like. Let's see. So yeah, I'll probably do at least 3 rotations in October, and November may see 4 or 5 rotations out of 8. I'm kind of assuming I'm going to like the rotation style I have here in September, where I have 3 projects for 5 days and 5 projects for 3 days. So assuming I like that, October Royal Holiday will have 3 of those 8 rotations. And in November, I think I'll do 4 or 5 of those 8 rotations just to try to get her done. Because I really, really, really want to get her done. And she's a big girl. Like, it feels like she's close to a finish, but that dress and robe at the bottom, there's a lot of stitching there. So, as anyone who's stitched a full-size Mirabilia knows, the dress can take a long time. So, that's what I did last week, and on the 1st I started October, and I remembered to put September in the frame on the 1st, so here it is in the frame. It's a little bit cattywampus here. I just smack it in here like a picture. It's not laced. It's here, I'll show you. And sometimes it gets stuck when I want to show people. So I just pull the back off, and it's in there like a picture. I cut these to a 5x7 size, so it fits the 5x7 frame. And then this is a 3.5 by 5 inch mat. I got these at Hobby Lobby, I believe. So it's just like a picture, and I lay it in here. And since I started in the center by folding it, I know it's gonna be, you know, where it needs to be with the mat. And then I just put this in, and it's good to go. And I'm not worried about dust because it's only got to sit out here for a month, and then it'll get put away. So it's good to go. That's how easy that is. So these are 28 count tea-dyed Monaco, and I got all 12 cut out of one roll at Hobby Lobby, because that's, again, how cheap I am. So here is October. You didn't see it at all before, but here it is now after 4 days of working on it. So I have these little guys are all the way done. All these little blue things, I don't know, maybe it's an ode to rain coming back after the summer, I don't know. All these little blue things are done. These little sticks still have some burgundy and orange flowers that will go on them, and then the burgundy and orange is also in the corners of the border, and then I have the rest of this border color is also here in the ground. So I'll have ground, border, and flowers is what I have left to do. I'm hoping I can get all of that done today so that I can start my Chatelaine. Can you tell I'm excited? I think the biggest thing I'm excited about with my Chatelaine is that I haven't seen anyone else working on this one. It's more of a unique one, I guess, because a lot of people do the mandala style ones, which are gorgeous, but I'm curious to see what it'll look like, because this is nothing like a finished stitch, like the way the pictures look. So I'm really curious how it's gonna go. I will start this today or tomorrow. I have pre-cut my fabric. I took it off of the fat quarter I got and sliced this up, so now it's a long skinny piece ready to go for my band sampler. And I have too many whips, so I didn't have any extra tubes for my new roll of fabric. So I made some tubes out of cardstock, which just rolled up the cardstock and taped it. And I made one for this fabric and one for my Frosted Pumpkin Greetings from the Parks Sal, which will start on the 15th. So they are both cut and serged and ready to go in a homemade cardstock tube. So I'm excited to start that and show you what that looks like. I've got it all printed out. I printed out in the PDF it comes, the whole chart is on one page, which is way too small to see what's going on, especially these 1/1 animals. So I used the helpful tips they have on the Chatelaine, get the sunspot off my face, on the Chatelaine Facebook group, and they recommend you take a snapshot, I think it's called, and you can highlight an area that you want to print and print just that section. So I ended up printing it in it's like this, like 3 chunks. So I have it, instead of 1 page, I have it printed out on 3 pages, landscape style, and it looks pretty nice and big for me. So it'll be 3 pages, so we'll see how far I can get on that first page in the 3-day rotation I have this month. And most likely I will fall in love with it and try to get it in a rotation again the next few months, because it's winter, and even though it doesn't ever get to be winter in Southern California, it helps me feel like winter if I'm stitching on wintry things. This is what I would love to see in my backyard, but this says my garden is my winter wonderland, which is not true for me. So I'm curious about changing those words to be like walking in a winter wonderland, like the song, or just leaving it. If anybody has a suggestion for what to put in here, I might even go try to find a verse in the Bible that has winter, snow, something in it. I haven't actually looked that up yet, but that might be a fun thing to do too. So if anybody has a suggestion for these words, I'll be doing those towards the very beginning, because I'm starting at the top. So feel free to share if you've got a great idea. Since I'm going to work on that for 3 days, and then my next 3-day project will start on Saturday. That'll be before I see you again. And if I film on Tuesdays now, I will have my full 3 days on my Chatelaine and a full 3 days on this love letter before I see you again. So this is my next one that I'm going to work on. And I chose to work on her in September because I just love working on her. I'm doing her in half stitches, and so she goes really fast. This top corner was really confetti heavy, and it kind of bogged me down when I first started it, and then I put it away for a long time. But when I came back, I realized most of this upper chunk is all mostly one color. So once I got past the corner, I just zoomed through, and now I'm starting to see her feathers, which has been so much fun to start to see something come alive. She's the full-size version. They also have a small version of this, but she's the full size because I just love the detail that the full size gave. I love her blue dress and all the roses and everything. So yeah, so I started here. I'm headed over here. I can see some feathers and some hat, and so I will see how far I can get on her in 3 days. This is what she looks like right now. see a good way to show that. There we go. So this is, I think, 3 pages worth. Let me see. Yes, I have started page 4. So there's 3 complete pages in the first like column and like 12 wide of page 4. A column and a bit. So there's the top of her feathers, and look how like detailed that is on the edge there, where it actually looks feathery. And a tiny bit of her hat is actually showing up there too, the yellow of her hat. So super duper fun. This is 2/1 half stitch on 25 count. And I'm loving this. So she's been calling to me for a while. So I am going to work on her in this weekend. So Saturday, Sunday, and Monday I will work on her. So hopefully I'll get at least another column done, you know, maybe more, we'll see. It's only 3 days. So yeah, if I can get a column done, I think I'll be happy. Because it'll be some more background and some more feathers. And I have a lot of parked threads here, so hopefully that'll help it go quicker, where I don't have to pull very many colors because they're already there, you know, ready to stitch on. And someone had asked about my tubes. As you can see, this one sticks out quite a ways. I bought this fabric, you know, from an online seller, so it didn't come in a tube. But this is an old Charles Craft tube. You can see it says 14 count Ada, which is clearly not. Antique white. So this is something I had years ago, and I've just repurposed it as my tube. A lot of them are stored in a tube like this, or this is another fabric tube that was more of a square, where I have my Royal Holiday in, and she didn't come in this either, but it's repurposed for her. Some of them I use a wrapping paper tube. This is what I keep my temperature garden in. It was a skinny wrapping paper from like one of those dollar wrapping papers in the dollar bins at Target. And I just used, literally, I used a Post-it note and taped it on the bottom so it would have a base. And then I also, like I said, sometimes we'll just make one out of cardstock if I don't have something else repurposed. So I just kind of, you know, mess around and use what I have on hand for my tubes for storing. But I will hopefully be making some project tubes out of fabric. I heard a request from Grumpy Granny. She suggested that because she stores her fabric in tubes. And Frosty X Stitch also stores her fabric in tubes. So I mentioned I was going to be making project bags or researching it, and I got my initial design, you know, graphed out on paper, sketched out, cut out. The pieces are cut out. I've got some fusible fleece fused on. They're like ready to sew, but I was sewing a iPad sleeve for my son last week instead, because he's in 5th grade and they're allowed to bring an electronic device to school every Friday for a few minutes for Friday fun every week. Like last year it was only like once a month. Now it's every week they get to do that. And the iPad, we have 2 iPads. The one I'm using for filming has a nice hardy cover on it. The one that he likes to use, it has all of his games on it, has a really thin, flimsy cover on it. So I was never letting him use that one at school because I figured it would, if he dropped it, it was toast. So I made him a little sleeve so he could take his preferred iPad to school with him. So that's what I did last week. And this week, I would love to work on that first project bag that I have cut out. But because of my birthday and my Chatelaine, I don't know if I'm going to want to make time for that. So I may not get to it. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. If my Chatelaine is going really quick, maybe I'll feel like I can spend an hour or 2 sewing. So we'll see how that goes. Because on my birthday, I don't want to sew. I just want to stitch. So that's what I'm going to do. Anyways, so yes, I showed you what I was going to do next week. And I think that's it. So project bags will be forthcoming. I have settled on a design that's got a vinyl window in the front, so I'm hoping that works well. And it's got a handle and a zipper that's on the top, the top of the front. And it's going to have a little pocket sewn inside with a few little, like it'll be a rectangle pocket with some inner stitching, so you'll have little pockets to put your pens and scissors and highlighters and stuff. So that's my plan. So next week or the week after, I will show you my first prototypes of project bags. So I will probably only be able to sew on things once or twice a week. So things will be slow to get manufactured. And I also have other things that I want to work on. I want to sew. There's a making dresses for a ministry at my church where we send them overseas to little girls overseas in third world countries who don't have dresses or clothes that are nice. And so I want to make more dresses for that. I want to make my daughter a dress that I realized I had fabric and a pattern for and just never got around to making. So I need to do that. And Simply in Stitches, Tina has been sewing so many things for herself, and she's really tempting me to get back into sewing for myself as well. And she made a walkaway dress recently, which is very simple construction, but looks really elegant when it's done, and I'm really tempted by that. So next time Butterick patterns go on sale, I will be picking up that pattern if I can find it in my size and finding some fabric. I don't think I have fabric right now that would work for that. I have a lot of fabric in my stash, but it's all kind of smaller cuts or not the right type of fabric for a dress. So I'd like to make that too. So project bags will kind of come, you know, in and around those other things. So whenever I have a new supply in my shop, I'll let you guys know. And until then, oh yeah, I need to tell you who all's stitching Chatelaine with me. So I'm doing my Chatelaine, this is my first Chatelaine for my birthday. Ann P. also started a Chatelaine for her birthday recently, so she is working on that right now for the first 6 days of September. So she's stitching along with me on her Chatelaine. And I also have people who told me they were joining in. Was Belinda from Aussie Stitcher. She is starting a Chatelaine this week sometime. And Jessie Marie does stuff. She is working on Autumn Fairy and said she was going to join in the beginning of September. And Kristen, who is Stitchy Mom on Instagram, she has 6 Chatelaines. 6. And she will be choosing one of them to stitch. And I forgot to check if she decided. I voted for the Rainforest Mandala that she has just because I've seen that one on their website. And it's kind of been a draw to me because I like the colors and how each side is different. Because sometimes the mandalas are like, I don't want to stitch the same thing 4 times, but they have different animals all around and it's very bright and colorful. So that one's kind of appealed to me in the past, so I voted for that one, but I told her she could work on whichever one was drawing to her. And then Lisa's stitching and such. She said she was going to work on her Chatelaine as well this week to stitch along. So there will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us stitching together on Chatelaines this week. If you have a Chatelaine, feel free to stitch along. Let me know what you've been working on. And I think that's everything. So have a great stitchy week, and thank you for those of you who are enjoying stitching along on a chatelaine for my birthday. It's just been kind of fun to see everybody get on board with that and stitch along. So even though we're all on a different piece. So with that, I should probably go. So have a good week and happy stitching.